Hi everyone, Mike here with March 2018 Etsy sales update. I'll jump into the numbers right away. As you can see right here, for the month of March, I've had 24 orders for the total revenue of $584. Uh, Total views to my listings and store were close to 2,000, as you can see. So it's been fairly consistent. I mean, few spikes here and there, and I'm not exactly sure uh, why those are. I'll do some research later on and figure that out. 1,260 visits, and once again, 24 orders. Now that's I would say that's not too bad. It's a little higher than February, which is good because there's some growth, but it is definitely not what I expected because of the number of listings that I've been adding, and basically I just figured out that having more listings would mean more sales, but I think I have figured out why this could have happened. Just because, as you can see over here, there were a couple of days. I mean, it started off really well. A couple of orders a day and almost an order every day, which was also the case in February. Near the end of February, I was averaging at least one a day, and then all of a sudden, mid March, it went down. I mean, this was a big order. I believe somebody uh, purchased 8 or 9 or 10 T-shirts, and then again, it just went down. So this spike here, I consider to be out of the ordinary for this period, for at least these 2 weeks. But these no sale days, I actually consider to be the norm, and we'll talk about that later. Uh, I'll scroll down just to see where the traffic has been coming from. So this is traffic sources for March 1st to 31st of 2018. As you can see, Etsy. Uh, Visits from other pages on Etsy, including search traffic, editors picks, and other shops. So that was a big chunk, 51%. Uh, that's really good. That means that Etsy is doing great. I also believe that, and I'm not 100% sure, I do believe that these uh, results are also part of my Etsy promoted listings. And if that's the case, that means it's working. And again, we'll look at those results as well. But anyways, Etsy source is 50, almost 52%, which is great. Now, direct traffic is 32%. And I actually will also spend a little more time thinking about this because I cannot figure out uh, where exactly people will be getting those links. Because, for example, the explanation here, it says direct traffic means that it's visits from people who came directly to your shop, usually by entering the URL or clicking on a bookmark or email. Now, I'm doing very little uh, promotion, for example, through either Facebook, and I understand that that would be here, but where or anything where uh, customers would have my direct link. So I'm thinking it's either the people that have actually favored my shop, uh, bookmarked it, or again, email link. I have not been sending any email marketing to my customers or anything like that. So that to me is a mystery, but it's a positive mystery because that's a big chunk of visits. Uh, let's look at some of the promoted listings. So just in summary, revenue $584 for the total of 24 orders. Now, I wanted to look at so these are the basic stats, but I wanted to look at promoted listings, and then I wanted to look at some other marketing, which in my case would be actually sales that I've been running. So we'll compare some of those successes for March specifically. So let me just go to promoted listings. and these would be for the month of March as it indicates here. So the basic numbers, almost 90,000 impressions, that's great. Almost 500, so 497 clicks, that's also really good. The cost, $60, resulted in 10 orders and the revenue of $181. So basically, what's happened here is I would say it looks great. I mean, it cost me $60 to make 181, but after the expenses and when you kind of consider what the profit is, which in my case usually I go for about 45% profit, I would say that the earnings from these sales are not great. I mean, they're good, don't get me wrong, because it's still money that I'm earning, but it's I would consider uh, out of these $180 when I subtract the cost of it, I have made maybe about $20 in profit. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that, but that's kind of the reality of it. In either case, promoted listings through Etsy work. Now, this brings me to promoted listings through Google Ads, which is also linked through the Etsy Shop Manager, and look at that. So this is the one, if you've seen any of my previous videos, I was actually testing them out, especially I believe in March, and we'll see if this is the case. Yes, it is. And we'll talk about some of this. Now, I really went all in. I went in with $10 a day for my listings to be promoted through Google Shopping. And as you can see, all of this is all the activity. I was getting all these impressions, all these clicks, but it was not resulting in any sales. And what happens with Google Shopping ads is that Google will maximize or I guess max out your $10 a day. That means you will be spending $10 a day, uh, and the sales will, again, in my case, were not there. Compared to Etsy promoted listings, where you don't always spend the $10 a day. However, the number of sales that you get for the cost is a lot. I guess it's a lot more. Now let's look at these numbers, uh, and I'll explain actually all this activity. So what I did here was I was doing $10 a day, and you can see maybe 5-6 days in a row. And then I would say probably here I took it down to $5 a day because I was not getting any sales. I think I got 2 sales maybe in the first 2 days, and then it just stopped. Now here I was running ads $5 a day, and then on March 11th or 12th, I decided to experiment. So what did I do? So instead of running ads in the States, I decided to run ads in Canada and then later on in Europe. And this is what happened. So instead of getting, for example, Google Shopping, I'm assuming these are impressions, going from, over here when I was doing $10 a day, over 1,000 impressions a day to $5 a day, it went down to, 564, 700 impressions a day. And this is where I switched to Canada, and I was getting 1, 2 a day. I kept running these ads just to see what would happen, because I also offer shipping to Canada, I offer shipping to Europe, and basically nothing happened. I was still running ads here. It was not eating up my money, but I was not getting any activity. So basically, I do believe that I am pretty much done with Google Shopping ads. I will read up on it. I can't uh, simply believe that, this integration would be so bad. I do believe that these people are much smarter than I am, so my assumption would be that I don't know how to use them. So I will again read up on this. I might give it another shot, but I will not simply do what I did in the past and just run $10 a day in the States and hope for the best. I'm gonna see if there's some kind of strategy behind it that I can put towards this and actually make it worth the money that I'm spending. So in summary, I spent $56 for the revenue of $40, which is 2 orders, and in reality, all this money was lost because I would say that it was, I don't know, $5, $10. I'm not even sure exactly what it would come out to. Uh, so Etsy promoted ads, absolutely. Google Shopping ads through Etsy integration, not so much, and definitely not at this point. Now, let me just go to the last thing before I wrap this up, and I'll talk about marketing, and let's go through some of the sales and coupons that I've run. Now, I actually absolutely love this, and let's see, this is last 30 days, so I'll get away from this screen because I'll do another update for April and May, but let's do March and look at some of the sales. Now, let me see if this makes sense and what exactly has happened. So these are actually some of the, I just titled these so I know exactly what it was. So for example, this would be 10 off March 26th to April 8th. Duration of the sale was, 14 days, 3 uses. So again, this isn't showing I guess all the details because it goes into April, but this one here, this was in the middle of March. 13-day sale, 10% off, and it resulted in 10 uses, so 10 items sold. Now let's look at the overall performance for March. 17 orders, average order value, so that means average cost of the item that I was selling was about $22.50, $22.48 for the total revenue of $382, which is great. And again, keep in mind that I'm just running a 10% off sale and I'm not really advertising it anywhere. I do put it on Pinterest, but again, I would say my Pinterest is I've done some things. Maybe I can do a video on Pinterest, but I do get about probably 100,000 visits a month on Pinterest. But again, I am doing that for another store that I have, and not Etsy specifically. But when I do run a sale, I will actually do a pin to my largest Pinterest, I guess, board where I know that there's a lot of activity. So maybe that's how people learn about this, or maybe just simply when they go through my listings and they see, an item is on sale, it really uh, gets them to buy it. Now, I'll just go back to the stats and basically summarize what we talked about. And let's see, so this is again April. I do want to go custom. We'll go back to March so we can look at this. So again, total numbers for March, 24 sales, revenue $584. And if you just remember from the sales numbers, I would say 75% of these sales were generated through me actually running a sale. The other 25% of the revenue was generated through Etsy promoted listings, and I would say, 2 sales through Google Ads. But again, you saw, that was actually a loss of money. The activity is great. Again, I have been, listing new ads almost daily. I will continue doing that. I have some new ideas and new strategies, what I'm going to do with my Etsy shop. Again, they've just introduced the pattern integration, which is basically, build your own website. So I've done that, but again, I have very low expectations for that. We'll see what happens in the future. And again, traffic sources, direct Etsy, direct links, and then external search and social media. That's about it. It's I would say if I had to summarize anything in about 30 seconds, I would say that it's going the way I want it to. Sales are increasing each month, which is great. Not by great percentages, but it does work. Anyways, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna do another video for April, and we'll see what happens. Please share any ideas, any updates that you have, any advice, anything that works for you. I would love to hear. I'm still learning. I am concentrating on other things. Personal store, Amazon is big in my world. I'll be working on Etsy. So, anyways, there's a lot of activity. eBay, not Etsy. Etsy is going great for the time that I'm investing. I am earning money, so I'm not losing money. That's great, and I'll just keep investing time and effort into it. Thanks again for watching. Leave feedback. Let me know what you think. Thanks again.